highest damage per minute in the whole of the LPL.
He hurts.
Highest damage of a team share for Huanfeng as well.
He hurts most in the tape.
And he's just, all the resources get funneled into this guy. And this is why Suning are comfortable to play these more reactive, is the way I'm playing it, as mid laners. The Gallios, the Twisted Fates. They don't need to have it, and even the Lissandra in this case, where they don't need a huge amount of damage to come from that mid lane because they can rely on Huanfeng to provide that.
Where is our Jayo? We got them yesterday for EDG and RNG, but today, no. We don't deserve them, apparently. Welcome to the Rift for JDG and Suning, though. I'll give you my Jayo in the hopes that we get a pretty good series here. For JDG, identity stays the same. The mosh pit, the scrappers, the skirmishers. While for Suning, you talk about avoidability in a sense. For people like Angel, he does have a very diverse champion pool and doesn't lock himself into a singular playstyle all that often. Aftershock here on him as well.
I think that's the beauty of having someone like Angel on your team is, yes, we can see him go for more team damage focus, where you are at least a carry in these fights, like the Azirs. We can see him go for a super late game scaling assassin in the Kassadin. Facilitators like Twisted Fate, Galio, Lissandra. Angel is a master of so many different styles that Suning have a heap of flexibility when it comes to their draft and on how they want to approach these fights.
Why did we watch the bottom left? Zoom back, I guess. Is he a bit late out of draft? Like, he didn't flash. Interesting. And it wasn't a TP. I don't know. But great replay, by the way. His jungler started on the bottom side of the map here. Or rather, only for Kanavi. Heading towards the top side, where 705 lies in wait. While for SOFM, towards bottom lane, which for JDG could be very fickle if it's hurt early.
I'd like to see both these junglers put priority on the top side of the map, though. SOFM usually likes to go for this route where he'll take the bottom side and then path towards his Krugs in the top lane. Because as you can see in this 705 bin matchup, Renekton and Aatrox is so jungler influenced. 705 will start off with the priority here, but if Bin can get some help from SOFM, this Aatrox can very quickly take over this match.
A good transition to talk about 705 as a player just quickly as we start this game off. Remember that Zoom was expected to come through here on this team. When we talk about JDG, not only do we talk about the scrapping, we talk about the Dumpling brother duo, Yagao and Zoom. This is the first time they've been separated since 2018 spring. Now that is a hell of a long time together. And as a duo between mid and top, their identity was so damn strong that in these fights, in these scraps, they really were the ones dominating. 705
has been doing a great job since coming into the roster, though. Has played a very similar champion pool to Zoom, so that transition has been eased off a little bit. The Mordekais or Renektons, the Aatroxes, it feels like Zoom never left. Now, he may not be as aggressive or as flashy in these fights, but still feeling that hold that JDG needs.
And it's in that sense that JDG having Coach home works really well for 705. The IG Young best top laner in the LDL, by the way. Team that, you know, won the LDL in 2019 summer. I'm going to pause there because he may be the best top laner, but SOFM could be the best jungler here in this engages. 705 gets a stun and he's just out. That was actually a pretty good trade. Goodbye, SOFM.
But this is where we wanted to see SOFM make his pressure felt. SOFM, at least on the Sejuani, a little bit on the Jarvan that we've seen, has been taking a back step these last few games. And in their last 3 series, this has dearly cost Suning. Now, looking a little bit more proactive in this game is exactly what Suning need to take over JDG and stop these mosh pits from running away with them.
Just a quick reminder on SOFM as well. Versed Ning/Lei Yan versus Bei Sheng. And on LNG side versus Sheng or XX. So he's gone against some of the better junglers in the lead. XX is a bit of a caveat to that as people have been laying into him recently. But back on track with this game as we saw SOFM towards the top side. Now, Kanavi here forces a flash immediately. 705 matches here. Sonic Wave resonating. Strike Bin is in the trash can here for first blood.
Kanavi says, nah, you aren't getting ahead in this top lane, Suning. 705 will set up the kill on Kanavi. And now we talked about how snowbally this matchup can be. Well, 705 is most certainly in the lead.
And you can give Kanavi first blood on this Lee Sin jungle. That's how he starts walking this one through. And we're just looking at Tarek. He's alone in the lane. Okay, he's having a beach party. While meanwhile, Bin in the top lane gets a bit of shove himself. Sword Art says, let's fight Lumao. probably not going to be the cause here because Loken is walking back into lane. Loken has Vampiric Scepter, and Suning's bottom lane hasn't backed yet.
Still has the Black Spear as well, so we're seeing a hold off on these Black Spears connecting until the level 6 point is hit from the Callistas, but Loken and Lumao back together is fantastic for JDG. This is like the veteran bot lane for them. Loken coming across from, well, at the very start of his career over in Korea was on Ever, ended up winning Kespa Cup in his very first year, and now and as well as IEM Shanghai, now finds himself back with Lumao, who has been back on Starhorn Royal Club, has played with several of the strongest, or some of the strongest AD carries in the LPL, and now on JDG, they're shoring up that bottom lane for this squad.
And Lumao, on that note, has become a staple of JDG, alongside Yagao, alongside Zoom as well. So let's not forget that this man is essentially the franchise player of JDG since its inception in 2017 summer. Again, Suning also 2017 summer was their first LPL split. That's why this e-commerce war is so competitive in a sense. Both of them are the same freshness level here in the league.
SOFM trying to turn that early gank around now. See if you can swap it over in Bin's favor.
Big wave. Really big wave to play with 705. TP is matched. Angel coming in, but cool. See you later.
Fantastic answer from JDG. Kanavi had gone back towards base, which meant there was no 3-man play. And with this wave so close to allowing 705 to hit that 6, having that ultimate available could have turned that gank around. Yagao gives him enough time, and now the dive potential of SOFM and Bin has completely shut down.
Both just walk back to the mid lane and as if nothing ever happened. I'm looking across the board in this swift lull moment, and the only discrepancy I see is in that top lane. Maybe a little bit in the bottom lane as well, but for Bin, about a 10, almost 10 CS advantage here on the Aatrox. Double longsword sword versus the Executioner's calling here for 705.
The big one you need to keep your eyes on, though, is this bottom lane. These are the two big damage dealers for both JDG and Suni.
But we look tough. They say no, Dagda. It's top lane because SOFM's here. Kanavi 6 as well. SOFM's backing. Oh. Good timing. Kanavi now spotted out. And Bin may have World Ender. But Kanavi has a kick.
What's going to be worse, the end of the world or one big kick to the face?
You've zoned him out anyway. So the fact is, 705 has the lane. Kanavi now using that pressure to walk down towards Raptors. Spotted out SOFM. Doesn't get the ward.
Yagao's not in a real position to help here, although as I say that.
Yeah, Angel's going to walk on in. Ultimate use. Kanavi can't get the Sonic Wave. Meanwhile, we look in the bot. Fights in every single lane as Loken in a bit of trouble. Kiting his way back. Spears in the body of Sword Art. But both summoners down here from the AD carry. One Funk still has Flash.
Loken and Lumao are able to get away from that one, and they do have the heals on the Taric, so they can slowly but surely start to rack this health back up. Kanavi, though, is doing a good job of interrupting the plays from SOFM, who's still focused on this top side.
And is still getting spotted out. Second time around, they know he's towards this top side here, even without a ward. He walked through it towards this crack. Raptors, excuse me, as Dazzle going to be dodged away from. Good headbutt here from Sword Art. Now Kanavi and Yagao are towards this bottom lane as well. Things are really starting to heat up for JDG.
And this is the way JDG were playing in their victories of the start of the series. Getting Yagao out of lane, having Kanavi and Yagao work as this duo of death on the rest of the map. Now, again, we're starting to see this come forward for JDG and having help for Loken and Lumao in the bottom lane.
And while the shove means Kanavi was spotted out in the bottom side trying to help his bottom lane. SOFM started the Herald, but 705 just walks down, pushes the Jarvan off of this objective. And another net win here for JDG at 9 minutes in the game. Bit of a gold lead here through the plates that have been taken in the top side, but apart from that, we're still stable.
The first time we're really going to start to see this goal swing either way, I feel like it's going to be towards one of these big objectives. Loken has already moved up towards this Rift Herald, has Lumao in tow. Huan Feng has crucially hit that level 6 mark alongside Sword Art. So everyone has their ultimates available for this fight, and I give a slight edge to Huan Feng and Angel. If they can set these fights up correctly and lock down crucial members, they can very quickly turn this fight around, as long as they can avoid the Cosmic Radiance.
But how can they do that? Angel has 5 seconds till his ulti. Huan Feng about 10 seconds until his. The objective almost gone here, so JDG with a key timing window Getting forced away from Herald. Just needs one more hit. The flash in from Angel. Bopped away. Kanavi nowhere nearby. The smite goes down, but I believe it's secured by 705. Yagao picks it up, and the Cosmic Radiance with the Fate's Call. Angel stuck in the middle with you, and they don't know what they're going to do. Suning now leave their top laner in the pit. They lost this fight ages ago, and Kanavi wants to continue forward. Lumao over the wall as well. Sword Art is next. 2 more to go as Angel and Huanfeng underneath their own turret. Ready? Hiya! Second kill coming through. JDG with a double.
More. They want more. Huanfeng's on his own.
Now, no mana here for the Misfortune. This is a bit of a pickle. Herald over the wall, probably the wrong side, but Huanfeng's dying anyway. The thumbs up as he gets dazzled. 6-0. JDG, the mosh pit, lives on.
And they'll be able to get this top lane tier 1 as well. JDG react perfectly in that fight. And Lumao and Loken balancing the invulnerabilities of the Cosmic Radiance and the Fate's Call mean that Suning can't find a pick at all in this fight.
Oh boy, 6-0 start. You talked about how around these objectives, these fights will be big. A 4K gold lead 11 minutes. I'm not watching FPX and V5, but I am watching a JDG from a very successful engage.
Now watch this here. While everyone is grouped up, the Cosmic Radiance is thrown down. Huanfeng can only use the ultimate after the Cosmic Radiance is gone. But at that stage, JDG have secured the objective. They backed away from the fight, and the bullet time is hitting on to absolutely nobody. So JDG are able to clean up this fight because Huanfeng's big damage source is not enough to carry without the bullet time.
Props to the bottom lane of JDG. Huanfeng not getting the flash there in the end as well. And running out of options. Later killed underneath that same turret. Now we're looking towards the top side of 705. Headbutt pulverized with the Ignite down. This Renekton, not long for the world. Suning getting their first kill of the game. But now they have to climb back from that gold lead that was built up by JDG.
705, way too greedy on that play. JDG will now look to answer with this bot lane turret, but it's going to be responded for by Suning in the top.
I will apologize. I think I said 5K gold lead before. Obviously my math is not increased from the last time I did simple addition. Only 3,000 at the moment. You're talking about the turret trade. Bottom lane steamrolling ahead while we've got to fight in the mid lane. Bin is in a lot of trouble. Dazzle's there into the world, and Lysandra with the glacial path that is not taken. And JDG do not take the kill on the board, but Bin backs away while the turret push continues.
They are focusing so much resources toward the mid lane for JDG that they haven't been able to help Loken on this bottom side. Suning will now get this tower first, can start this recall and come back out on the map quicker to set up and see maybe if they can start to push in towards these river areas and get control of that.
Or a Hex Flash, but you're not going to find anything with the LeBlanc. Meanwhile, Suning get their top lane turret. They get it before this bottom lane, but remember, JDG already got first turret blood up in that top side. And Lumao and Loken have a hell of a time here. Blade of the Gruen King going to be purchased after this as well.
Let's start to take stock of where JDG's team is, though. Because 705 has got a bit of CS discrepancy for himself, but those kills and assists will even that out. Going for this Black Cleaver to try and get these continuous abilities off in team fights is fantastic with the CDR because you've got the Cosmic Radiance to keep you alive for longer. So this is JDG saying, hey look, we want to team fight a lot, and you've got Yagao, who's doing great on this LeBlanc, to be the dive buddy alongside 705.
But the second blue buff steal might not go the same as the first one here for Kanavi. Pulled back in. Bin still wants this kill, and Kanavi's looking for escape options, but Angel is on the other side of the wall. No way out here for the jungler, who gives a shutdown over to Bin. Kanavi getting a bit too greedy here in the enemy jungle.
Especially with Loken and Lumao back in base, there was nobody to try and support him in that endeavor. Ends up giving over a kill. Might have been some shutdown gold as well.
There was.
So now you're going to look at this going heavily for Suning, where they can start to get control back on the map. My eyes are drifting towards, well, one, the dragon in 2 minutes, but also don't forget there's going to be a Rift Herald spawning just after that. So if you're starting to get a little bit more vision control and some gold into the pockets of Suning, they can then look for round 2 at the Rift Herald.
We're able to push on in. We're just noticing the gold there, 1,600 for the start of JDG. Off that team fight win on the top side and the push that came through. And a bit of a teaser for you towards the end of the week while we're in one match of the week. The Clash of Kings comes forward at the end. RNG versus IG, another El Clasico. A 2018 summer final rematch in a way. That'll be on Sunday to finish off the week.
That'll be a nice way to finish off the week, but coming back to our e-commerce war that is going on your screens now. Another El Clasico. After RNG EDG yesterday, we're starting to get a lot of these plays.
They really are. At the side of Suning as well, let's not forget to take stock of the fact that they've got the Mountain Dragon. They're looking for this next Infernal. When that play you're talking about in the bottom side before, they're able to get some deep vision, and they've got the bottom of the map under control while JDG are trying to punish top. Angel's safe for now, but Yagao with this Luden's Echo in the side lane looking pretty good as Suning trying to get mid-control in the face of this Dragon.
You can see how both these teams like to play in this game, though. JDG are the much more proactive, get out of the map, work with Kanavi and Yagao to set up plays, whereas Suning aren't actually that active in the early game, much more reactive, and that's what we saw them try to make the plays down on the top side. But once we get towards the mid game, Suning come alive. They group together, and again, working on this bottom lane turret to push back 705 as this Dragon is about to spawn.
Respect paid by the top laner of JDG. Suning now regroup, or at least back away here from the Alistar. But that is a big back timing, especially when Yagao topside pushing in, has TP available. And JDG now grouping around this Dragon that's up in 10.
JDG are trying to create pressure on this top side as the Dragon is about to spawn, so they can use Yagao's teleport if need be to have a man advantage, especially when we look towards the way Yagao wants to play these fights, get in on a flank. So joining these fights late when the CC has been used from the likes of SOFM, Angel and Sword Art is going to set up Yagao far more for a successful team fight.
He's coming down now, doesn't need to use TP. Level 11 on this side laner. But more importantly, I mentioned the item before, 5 stacks of the Dark Seal while JDG just take this themselves. Infernal Dragon, all theirs. Yagao, good dodge away. Now they look for the turn here onto Sword Art. Bursted down before he can use the Unbreakable Will. TP with the flank here as well. Suning have to get out. They have to get out now. Kanavi says no, you stay here. SOFM with the flash away before the Sonic Wave connects. But the flash forward here from 705. Dominus into the Cosmic Radiance. And bullet time is zilch again. 7-2. Suning lose another.
Sword Art doesn't respect the damage that JDG can churn out at this point in the game. Takes too much damage on the Alistar, doesn't even burn the flash, and ends up baiting Suning into a terrible engagement. JDG pick up Dragon, they pick up the Rift Herald, and can look to crack open this mid lane turret with that objective.
This unit cohesive as well on the side of JDG. Rift Herald in the pocket of Kanavi. And everything going up here. 2-0-3 on this Callista. Blade of the Ruined King with double dagger. And note as well that Kanavi was already sitting on Warriors. But now he's got a Kindle Gem. He's got a Ruby Crystal. He's a bit tanky. And he's still got time to back yet.
You can see for Suning, they're struggling so hard to get the fight set up in the way they want. What they would love is to have SOFM engage, set up this Cataclysm, Angel come over with more CC, and Juan Fong with the bullet time across the top. Cosmic Radiance is disrupting this every time. SOFM is going in with the Cataclysm to find that everyone around him is invulnerable. Angel is holding off in the gauge because he realizes there's no targets for him. And Juan Fong then doesn't have this godlike setup in the fights. And JDG, because of that, are able to jump around with Renekton, with the LeBlanc, and find the team fight wins.
It's only going to get worse because Yagao has an Oblivion Orb now in hand. Chance that that Dark Seal turns into a Magi's at some point in this game. Up 10 CS in his lane opponent, by the way, as well. And coming into this series, my expectations were a lot of scraps. We've had a lot of scraps, but one-sided for the time being, where Suning have found some good picks, but when these fights come up, you're right, they don't get the setup that they want. And it goes haywire here, especially when you're versing a Callista like this, with lethal tempo, not Halo Blades. You're getting to the point where those elongated fights are only going to get worse as well.
And I like that this is the option Loken and Lumel went for, because the Halo Blades gives you a lot more pressure in the lane, but when you get towards team fights, lethal tempo does so much more. Although, Lumel might be cut out here.
Well, does he have the Cosmic Radiance? I don't know, because I see a bit of a gold grab there. I'm very impressed, but may I please have the summoners now? That's okay, I can't control that. That's fine. But it is important to note that Loken there at 9k at the top. But with his Herald down in the mid lane, you're going to see a lot more going over to him. Cosmic Radiance, yes, is available. Alistar can do that, by the way, but he's still going to charge. And forward it goes. Good dazzle. As Yagao pokes his head in once again. Bin may have found him. Yagao in a bit of a pickle himself, flashes away. Good punishment.
JDG could have held on to that Rift Herald for a little bit longer though. You've got Yagel with TP 705 who can work in the side lane as well and try and create pressure elsewhere before going for this play.
Now looking for the dazzle, glacial path over from Angel. Here's a good lockdown. Cosmic Rating comes in preemptively and Loken lives because of it. But defense here from Suning successful.
You can see how Suning's composition can work in these fights, but again, Cosmic Radiance just about saving JDG. Now though, they will be forced to back away a minute and a half towards this dragon. Suning can start to get vision and try and knock another dragon in their favor.
You know, Tarek takes his shirt off when he backs with the beach skin.
I didn't, but good to know.
Bit of a fan service there from old Lumel. Thank you so much, I guess. Zeke's Convergence in the inventory. We noted that a little bit earlier, building towards his second item now. Renounce was picked up a little while ago for Loken, but Vampiric Scepter now in hand. I mentioned this because in a minute, we're going towards another dragon. A dragon which has silently been taken by JDG. Speaking of the Infernal, could be happening again. At least for the second one here, Dagda.
I'm watching where the vision is being set up. Look at JDG. They're putting wards down towards this dragon. They want to try and go for it. Whereas Suning, they're saying, hey, look, we're happy to trade this dragon. It's only number 2. We are instead going to use this opportunity where you've invested resources on the bottom side to take vision on the top side of the map.
Getting a quick look at that vision there. That was in the blue buff deep here from Sorda. Just trying to track where Kanavi is, because Kanavi has been finding pretty good engages at the start of these fights. He's got to level up on SOFM as well.
Now remember what we said about the way JDG want to play this. Flanks with 705 and Yagel. If Suning haven't previously set up vision around an objective, it's very difficult for them to try and take back that space because they don't know where Yagel is or where 705 is, and that's what we're seeing them struggle with right now.
But that vision in River on the Pixel Brush, that's paying dividends right now, and Sword Art even encroaching into the space. And so FM doing the same, Suning fighting back for that vision. And JDG are just trying to walk into the pit, but Sword Art raises so much potential here with Bin on the flank as well.
Bin is going to be looking for Loken if he can get onto him, but JDG are pushing back. This vision game is so tense right now.
Bin is a big Aatrox, by the way. A level up on 705, and he's got the farm above him as well. The second most fed member on the side of Suning. Look, almost 50 CS on 705. 705's constantly been grouping, and Juan Fong has to be careful where he stands. They walk forward. They trade out the 80 carry, and with Demolish, they started. And Sword Art has been stunned down, but no follow-up. JDG with another objective, more gold. And look, there we go, silently again.
705 in this game, though, will always look to be grouped with JDG. It's the style of build that he's gone for. You can go for the Blade of the Rune King if you want to go for a more split push orientated build, but when you go Black Cleaver, you're looking to get the CDR, you're looking to have multiple rounds of abilities in team fights, and especially with the Cosmic Radiance, it allows 705 to be a lot more of a nuisance when it comes to fights.
You speak about fighting, he's got a stopwatch. I mean, a stopwatch so early just shows you that this top laner wants to be part of the fights. He wants to be in there.
The big thing for Suning, though, is they've hit their strongest points of fights. Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge for Misfortune, this is where Juan Fong is his strongest. And I think from now, going forward, I'd like to see him go for a rapid fire. We already said the Cosmic Radiance can hinder your ability to go for a bullet time, so getting more AD doesn't really help with that. You want to go for the rapid fire so you can start to poke out people, but also have more attack damage and more consistent damage for these team fights.
Boy, oh boy, you talk about strength. Look at what Loken has. QSS now as well. Very close to the Mercurial Scimitar. And also, note that Yagao has picked up the Morellonomicon. So we got 2 items here strong for the mid laner carry of JDG. And for JDG right now, poking their head towards this Baron. They picked up the second Elemental on a very favorable Cloud Rift, by the way. And they're now setting their vision around the Baron buff.
Suning trying to see if they can stop this encroaching vision from JDG. If Suning can try and hold on to this area, it makes it very difficult for JDG to start the Baron.
I think Lumao's okay. Fate's Call is still there. Cosmic Radiance not used. The Fate's Call maybe to re-engage as SOFM has to back away. It's onto the Aatroxes. Here it comes down the beach, boys. 705 jumps in once again. Kanavi backs away. Suning are kiting well, but Loken's kiting forward. He doesn't want to disengage. 705 with the flash forward. SOFM with the Cataclysm. Look how well it's set up. But for Huanfeng, his ult is interrupted. And now for Suning, they have to watch out because Yagao means business, and so does Loken. Forward on Callista. The only way you can play it. SOFM will be the last remnant. That's the ace for Suning.
And Yagao throws up the white flag. The surrender for Suning calls for it in this game. And JDG, the name of the game is survive and conquer. They have the cosmic ratings to keep them alive. This lifesteal from Loken, everything for 705 to keep them alive in the fights. And after that victory, they will pick up the Baron.
Shouldn't have said the ace for Suning, the ace for JDG, but Suning got destroyed there. And this game seems to be coming towards a close in JDG's favor. A 7k gold lead, the skirmishes continue, and explosive as all hell.
We said it, Suning hasn't won this matchup since week 8 of summer 2018, and you can see why when JDG are looking fantastic. The kick back onto Angel, and watch how long JDG can survive. 705 playing towards the front line, Loken kiting back and forth, and even eventually when Huanfeng opens up with the bullet time, you've got people going golden, you've got healing coming through from Lumao, and it's impossible for Suning to win out in these fights as Loken, with confidence, strides forward.
Thank you, Tarek. That was outrageous. Good healing here from Lumao. And Loken lives on. 3-0 and 7 has 3 items. We're fighting once again, but for Suning, I don't know about that. Loken goes to vulnerable again. The Faith Call onto Bin, and Yagao comes in for the flank. Well, great ultimate from Huanfeng, but I think JDG keep on going. Yagao sandwiches them together. And a tasty sandwich is a good one, but the calories are too much for Suning. They're walking away this time. JDG force them out once more.
Well, JDG are pretty fed at this point, so I'm surprised they're not stuffed. 705 on the bottom lane can start to push in towards the tier 2 as the rest of JDG will group with Baron to knock down the mid.
JDG are making this feel like the 6th versus 11th place match. That's where they're standing right now. Suning below top 8. JDG right up in there with a big start to the split. And their curse recently has been that losing streak. 3 series losing streak. This will be a very good start here in Game 1 as even Angel is denied. More turrets here. Taken as you're looking at the replay in the bottom left, but JDG all the time, and it still is with almost a 10k gold lead with his Baron buff.
So what JDG right now can do is force these waves in aggressively to have Suning deal with them, and then JDG come back towards this dragon. It's in 15 seconds, and with very little congestion, I'd imagine, coming forward from Suning, it'll put them onto Soul Point.
27 minutes in. Powerful stuff here from JDG. Suning just clearing away vision for the time being. And yeah, you mentioned that cloud. Well, Kanavi walking straight towards it.
You can see from Suning as well, they realize how much trouble they're in when they're trying to find items that it can just stop JDG from kiting so far forward. And the one that stands out for me is Sword Art with the Righteous Glory. Usually we see this as an engage tool for the speed up to follow up on the play. For Sword Art though, this is about that big AoE slow and trying to stop 705 from getting onto Huanfeng in the back line. And by some miracle then, maybe they can find a team fight. But with JDG sitting 8,000 gold ahead at the 28-minute mark, this is going to be a miracle and a half if they can bring this game back.
Especially if you can survive Yagao, first of all. Double needlessly large. Rabadon's third item on the way. Sterix Gage with the top laner as well has been jumping in. And SOFM caught out once again. Look, Yagao has the damage, but Sword Art saving his jungle might have actually just sacrificed his own life. Slowed down by the Ren, Yagao pokes him once again. And Suning will be forced back. Kanavi jumps on into Bin, and even that is a bit too much damage to handle. JDG are playing with their food. They got minion waves crashing in the bottom side. Mid's coming up shortly.
So JDG at the moment are just waiting for that Baron to spawn. Keep the waves as close to the enemy turret as possible. Yeah, if you can pick up a turret in the meantime, that's great. But realistically, they only want to hang on for the Baron.
I don't think they want the Baron. I think they just ended here. Cosmic Radiance means let's fight again onto Huanfeng. He QSS's, but slowed down is 705, who didn't get the Tarek ulti, so he'll die first of all. JDG now a man down with World Ender at its peak. Lumao stunned up once, but not twice, as Yagao jumps back over the wall, even with 4 members. JDG had the positioning to threaten the inhib.
Sword Art now gets stunned up, but still looking to engage, trying to threaten onto JDG, but Loken this whole time has been free, hitting onto the inhibitor, and they'll be able to take that one forward.
Well, now that 705 is dead, maybe now they back away and they take it a bit slower. But as I say that, up the top for Loken here. We've got another inhibitor turret to look at. We've got more pressure to add. We've got a wave to push out. A lot to do here as Kanavi may have been caught out.
No Cataclysm for SOFM. Kanavi should be able to just get out of here.
Well, he has kick available with the ward hop. He's safe for now. And we sit in wide-eyed wonder, I think, at this point and go, wow. JDG still, you lose a member, you still got in here 4 versus 5. That's just how far ahead they are.
It's great to see JDG coming back with this punch hard, punch fast style though, where they are grouping early, forcing objectives, forcing fights, and very quickly snowballing the game in their favor. This was something that was lacking so heavily in their last few series, but once again, Kanavi and Yagao in the early game are working as a duo that is very difficult for Suning to control.
Kanavi and Yagao. A duo that we didn't see much of last year. Remember that, you know, the imports on this team, it's Loken, it's Kanavi. And so Kanavi coming in last year, there was a lot of questions about how the communication was going, how the gap, like we saw on teams like LNG with Plex and SOFM, who we've got in this game on Suning now. We saw a lot of gaps in communication there. There were questions about Kanavi and Yagao and other members of JDG. It seems like communication at this point, really, really good between Kanavi and Yagao. They're all on the same page. And for JDG, who was a spring split finalist against IG last year, these expectations have risen once again for them to reach same height.
And they want to go all the way. They did end up in the finals, I think it was in 2019. I'm actually now...
Yeah, like I just said, 2019
yeah,
spring against IG.
So they want to try and make sure that they're getting to those lofty heights again and actually pushing forward one last time. Getting all the way to the top. Not just tasting it and then the bitterness of defeat after.
Well, you remember, last year we had Imp on this roster. Imp hits the finals against IG in spring. And then we see him in summer. They fail to make playoffs. Well, Suning don't, by the way. That's a different story. And then Imp has now retired. And we got Loken back on the roster of JDG.
And Loken had big shoes to fill with Imp on this roster. The world champion that has left the team, and Loken coming back into his home turf to see if he could try and solve what was happening on JDG. Now looking good once again, 3-0-8 on this Kalista, and with Lu Mao, again the support who does so much work for this team, whether it be in the duo lane, in the team fights, or roaming towards mid to help Yagao. JDG as a whole are starting to look like a strong collective.
And they're looking to try and finish this one off. Finn taking the one-on-one with Yagao. JDG, Baron is there, but they're not hitting it. They're looking for something first on the side of Suning. So FM, they lock him up. Kanavi will take the Cosmic Radiance. It hits everyone, and now forward goes Loken. 705's already there. The kick away means Sword Art is no longer in the play. And JDG have already picked up one. SOFM is not tanky enough at this point. Loken forces his flash. That's SOFM. And meanwhile, JDG have an open base to deal with.
And they've got minions streaming through the mid as well. No. They'll keep going.
Well, there is a cleanse flash here from Loken, rather QSS. As JDG have nothing but the Nexus to go forward on. First turret's here. One Fung has been using his ult defensively here this game. Second one there as well. And Yagao gets the Nexus dive. Perfectly done from JDG. A slaughter here for Game 1.
Easy as you like for JDG. The